Welcome to our channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. This is the story of an old man who was about to die. An old man sat alone in a quiet park, watching the sun dip below the horizon. As the sky blazed with hues of orange and purple, he seemed utterly content. His gaze was fixed on the setting sun as if it held a secret only he could see. The old man's name was Thomas, and his age was a mystery even to himself. Time had been kind to him, though, leaving him with wrinkles that were etched with wisdom and eyes that twinkled with stories untold. A young man named Alex, intrigued by the old man's serenity, decided to approach him. He walked over slowly, unsure of what to say, yet drawn to the old man's peaceful aura. When he got closer, he heard the old man muttering to himself. Not knowing what to do, Alex decided to wait. And after a while, he gathered the courage to interrupt the old man's thoughts. "Excuse me," he began hesitantly, "but why are you here all alone at this hour?" Thomas turned to him, his eyes crinkling at the corners as he smiled. "I come here every evening to watch the sunset," he replied, his voice as soothing as the sound of waves crashing on a distant shore. "It's the most beautiful part of the day, isn't it?" As they stood there together watching the last rays of sunlight fade away, Alex couldn't shake off a feeling that he needed to ask the old man a question that had been weighing on his mind for weeks. Taking a deep breath, he asked, "Can I sit down for a moment?" Thomas gestured to the bench beside him and nodded, inviting Alex to share the silence for a while. Finally, when the comfortable silence between them deepened, Alex gathered his courage and asked the question that had been burning in his mind. "Sir, I know this might be a strange question, but I've been thinking about life a lot lately, and I wondered if you could help me. Could you please share with me the secret to a happy and fulfilling life? You seem so content, and I aspire to find that same peace." Thomas turned to him, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "Ah, you want the secret to life, do you?" he said with a chuckle. "Well, that's quite a question, isn't it?" Thomas paused, as if savoring the moment before he spoke again. "When I was young, I thought happiness lived in the things I could hold. I chased money, fame, and success with every breath I had. I built houses bigger than I needed and filled them with treasures I barely touched. I had servants to cater to my whims and luxuries that made my life more comfortable. But as the years went by, I realized none of these things brought me lasting joy or fulfillment. In fact, sometimes they became burdens. I realized that true happiness wasn't in what I owned, but in the moments I experienced, the people I loved, and how I felt inside. You see, chasing material things can be like chasing a mirage in the desert," he continued, his voice filled with wisdom born from a life well lived. "It seems like just within reach, yet no matter how close you get, you can never quite grasp it. True happiness, my boy, comes from nurturing our relationships, taking care of our health, and finding peace within ourselves." Alex listened intently, feeling as if Thomas was not just sharing words, but also a part of his soul. It was as if the old man was handing over a treasure map leading not to material riches, but to the very essence of a fulfilling life.